Today, the first talk will be by Keshav Puttaswamy, who is the head of product management for all of our Atlassian server products. He resides in Sydney, and he really enjoys making cocktails with rye and bourbon, cricket, and then also traveling around the world with both his wife and his 2 daughters. If you have any other questions, please join me in welcoming Keshav to the stage.
Hola, everyone. It's great to be here at the summit in Barcelona. I joined Atlassian in the Sydney office about 9 months ago. Before that, I was working at Microsoft for 20 years. It was a big, big move for myself and my family, relocating from Seattle to Sydney. But I've got to say, it's been an absolute blast. The only downside so far is just how long it took me to get from Sydney to here in Barcelona. Now let's start by imagining a world where your Jira, Confluence, Bitbucket, and other Atlassian products are up 24/7. You can upgrade to new versions of our software with 0 downtime. The system scales effortlessly as your deployment grows in size or geography without impacting user performance. And you can choose where you deploy, whether that is in your own on-premise data center or in the private cloud. And you have one place that is your mission control for user management and performance monitoring of all your Atlassian products. If that vision sounds appealing to you, you're in the right session. Today, we're going to cover what data center is, learn about what we are doing in the product, learn about what our customers are doing with data center, and finally, how you can adopt data center in your organization. Now, before we begin, you might have caught Brian Rollins talking about our platform commitment at the keynote. As the head of product, I'm responsible for server and data center. Now, I love both of the products, and I use some of our cloud products as well. At the keynote, Brian talked about some of the big server investments that we're making. Rest assured, we're continuing to invest in server, especially focused around productivity improvements for our users across our Atlassian products. But in today's presentation, I'm going to focus solely on data center. So what is data center? Let's actually see a show of hands. How many of you are aware of what data center is? Great. Nobody fell asleep at the keynote. That's good to know. All right. How many of you are using or in the midst of evaluating data center today? Great. About half. Now, customers sometimes assume that data center is only for the largest deployments. But data center is not just about scale. We believe data center is for any customer for whom Atlassian's products are mission critical. As Atlassian products have become mission critical to your organization, you told us to focus on 4 key areas: high availability, performance at scale, deployment flexibility, authentication and control. These 4 areas have formed the pillars of our investments for data center, and you'll see me referring back to these 4 areas throughout the course of this session. Now, in software development, in IT, pretty much in any technology or knowledge worker field, people are the largest cost. Downtime is incredibly expensive. For an organization of 1,000 people, just a half hour of downtime justifies the entire subscription for data center. Given how mission critical Atlassian is to our customers, the math is pretty easy. Now, to deliver on those 4 pillars of data center, the architectural foundation for data center is clustering, or the ability to run our products on multiple nodes, to provide high availability in order to avoid the high cost of downtime from a single node failure, and to give customers like you a way to expand our Atlassian products as it grows in your organization. Now, along with supporting high availability, as customers rolled out Data Center, they have seen an immediate impact in performance. Jira and our other Data Center products can support more and more concurrent users as you added Data Center nodes. In fact, one Data Center customer, Cerner, saw their response times at peak hours cut in half. So Jira software was twice as fast once they rolled out Data Center. Your teams are more productive, your end users are happier, and you spend less time answering questions about performance. Now, to summarize, we have 4 Data Center products today. All of these 4 products already offer the benefits of high availability, performance at scale, deployment flexibility, and control. Now, let's talk about some of the major investments we are making in our Data Center products. We'll start with high availability in Jira Software. Now, Data Center started by eliminating unplanned downtime by providing clustered failover. Now, we're going after planned downtime by providing the ability to upgrade Jira Software without taking down your cluster. So how does it work? When you're ready to upgrade, you set your Jira Software Data Center to upgrade mode. This enables you to run your nodes in a clustered environment when they're on different versions of Jira Software. Then we upgrade each node to the new version, one at a time, until all the nodes have that newer version. Finally, we perform any upgrade tasks required outside of the code, such as database changes. And this can all be done while Jira continues to provide uninterrupted service to your users. When done, we signal to the cluster that the upgrade is over, and users start getting the new experience with the new version of the software. So with version 7.3, we released the ability to upgrade Data Center with no downtime for bug fix releases. So if you're upgrading from, say, 7.3.1 to 7.3.2. We're currently working on supporting zero downtime upgrades for feature releases. So for example, if you were going from 7.5 to 7.6. Our goal with zero downtime upgrades is to enable you to upgrade Jira more frequently. So you can pick up that critical bug fix that one of your teams is waiting on. You can immediately apply a security patch without scheduling downtime. Or you can deliver the latest enhancements to the products sooner to your users. Now, more and more software teams are distributed around the world, and having to clone a repo remotely is a real challenge, especially when using Git. To address this, we introduced a Data Center-specific feature, Smart Mirroring, for Bitbucket. The time savings for remote devs on clone and fetch operations is massive. Customers using Smart Mirroring tell us they can't live without it. But we're not done here. Previously, for a developer on a remote site, authentication still happened with the primary instance. This meant that if the main instance was down for some reason, let's say there was a network outage, the remote developers could not clone or fetch from the mirror server. Now, with the latest version, Bitbucket 5.0 that's currently in beta, we actually cache the auth on those remote servers, so users can pull down the changes to their machines even if the main server is down. Now, we've also seen customers setting up builds from those remote servers. This is especially helpful for remote developers as it speeds up their development cycle. Now, however, it was hard to know exactly when to kick off that build from a mirror because it was unclear when synchronization from the main server was complete. So people were resorting to inefficient polling or adding error-prone delays to their builds. With version 5.0, we have a new event that the CI system can listen to and know when that synchronization is complete so it can kick off a build. You're going to see Bamboo taking advantage of this new event in an upcoming release. But you can also leverage this new event with any other CI system that you use. Now, we built a performance testing framework that we use to performance test Bitbucket internally when we build new features. In November of last year, we released this framework to you so you can benchmark your own staging or test environments. Now, the framework does a couple things. You can actually create a different load profile that matches what you see in your organization, so your own mix of user and build access patterns. And it automates the process of creating a data set of any shape and size, such as large numbers of repos, pull requests, and so on. Finally, in Amazon Web Services, it will automatically spin up a data center instance, simulating end-user machines load putting on Bitbucket. Now, you gave us such good feedback on Bitbucket's performance testing framework that the Confluence team is following the same model. With a Confluence performance testing framework, you can also create a load profile that matches your use case with user personas to view, create, and edit pages, add comments, and so on. And as with Bitbucket, you can spin up that data center instance in AWS. The Confluence performance testing framework is being finalized by the teams and is coming soon. Now, speaking of AWS, at the US Summit last year, we announced that AWS is a supported platform for data center. Now, we've actually gone beyond just making AWS a supported platform. We've provided quick start guides and CloudFormation templates that provide instant deployment and auto-scaling for data center applications. Specifically, auto-scaling means that a 3-node cluster can automatically add a 4th node in AWS when the first 3 nodes are getting close to their threshold, with no need for an administrator to intervene. It's pretty cool. So in October of last year, we announced Quick Start for Jira Software and Bitbucket Data Center. We did this at the US Summit in San Jose. And then in November, we announced Quick Start for Jira Service Desk. And this was at the AWS reInvent conference in Las Vegas. And recently in March, we added AWS QuickStarts for Confluence Data Center as well. Now, keeping up with our announcement tradition, we needed to choose a major event to announce it. So we picked St. Patrick's Day. St. Patty's Day is in March, right? I'm getting nods. Okay, great. Okay, so you've told us that as your Atlassian deployments are more widely deployed, adopted, authentication becomes critical, which is why we now support SAML 2.0, because users don't like remembering multiple passwords. And as administrators, you want to ensure that you're compliant with your company's security policies, such as using 2-factor authentication. So we've invested in supporting SAML and single sign-on across our data center product suite. So you can now link to your existing identity provider. In fact, it works with any SAML 2.0 compliant identity provider today. Now, in addition to our 4 data center products, let's all welcome a 5th member to our data center family, HipChat Data Center. We were in private beta for HipChat Data Center, but are now making it available as a public beta. So what is HipChat Data Center? Well, in essence, the team has worked really hard to enable HipChat server to run in a clustered configuration. So you can scale with multiple nodes, and the data stores are externalized so you can leverage your existing enterprise infrastructure. And all of this lives behind your load balancer. So now you get all the benefits of data center for HipChat. Multiple nodes keeps HipChat running in case of a hardware failure. You can easily scale so you can bring all your teams onto a single platform. You can actually run HipChat either on-premise using VMware or on AWS. And we've added support for SAML, so users don't need to remember an extra password, and administrators can get that extra layer of security using 2FA. And of course, with HipChat Data Center, we will have the latest HipChat video capabilities as well. At the previous summit, we announced HipChat video in beta, and since then we've released it. Now, HipChat video is built on a brand new platform. It uses WebRTC, which brings better performance and quality, screen sharing, and group chat. In fact, up to 20 users can get on a single video chat. HipChat Data Center is in public beta now, so you can go and access it today. But wait, we're not done yet. A number of you manage multiple Atlassian products, and we've heard from you that this can be a real challenge, especially when it comes to identity and user management. It turns out that over 50% of our data center customers already are using Crowd Server to do this. So we're excited to welcome another member to our data center family, Crowd Data Center. How many of you use Crowd today? All right, great. It's about half. Well, for those of you that haven't used Crowd, this is a quick reminder of what it is. Crowd is actually a standalone product for centralized identity and user management for Atlassian products. Now, Crowd can integrate with your LDAP directories to provide a single sign-on experience for Atlassian products. Now, by having Crowd do all of that synchronization from those remote directories centrally, it frees the servers that are hosting the products to focus on product-specific work instead of user management. This means better performance for your end users. Crowd can also stand as a standalone user directory itself for Atlassian products. So you can add internal groups on top of the groups that came from the remote directories. So you don't have to reach out to IT for managing users and memberships that are local to your Atlassian products. Crowd also allows you to connect to another Crowd directory or create custom integrations to other user directories. And finally, I'm excited to announce Microsoft Azure Active Directory integration that will be natively supported by Crowd in an upcoming release. If your company is already using Office 365, you can simplify identity management for your Atlassian products with Crowd. So why Crowd Data Center? Well, Crowd Server does not offer high availability today. If Crowd goes down due to hardware or other issues, users can't get access to Jira or Confluence or Bitbucket. Crowd Data Center, however, works in an active-active cluster configuration to provide that uninterrupted authentication to your Atlassian products. Now, Crowd Data Center is in private beta right now and will be in public beta soon. But you can go and sign up for the beta today. Now, we know that you are making huge investments in our products, and we are as well. You've seen the product momentum over the past few months. We're continuing to invest in Data Center. So I wanted to take this opportunity to share some of the big areas we're exploring for Data Center in the future. Now, before we dive in, I just wanted to emphasize that most of what I'm going to cover here are product explorations. We're sharing them with you so we can get your feedback, your ideas and thoughts. And by doing so, we hope that we can deliver on the right set of capabilities to you. Note that we're not making commitments on timelines, as that really depends on the feedback that you give us. Now, increasingly, our customers are spread across multiple geographies. Even our smaller customers often have remote sites for IT, software development, and so on. We started addressing this with Bitbucket. With smart mirroring, we're able to reduce the biggest challenge our remote developers face, which is that initial clone and the subsequent fetches to the repo. We're not done here, though. We'll continue to make that experience better. As an example, not requiring those remote developers to remember two separate URLs, one for cloning and another for pushing changes. But what about Jira and Confluence? Interestingly, the use cases in each of these products is different, and an implementation that works in one product for geo-performance may not be the best way to solve the most pressing issues in another. For example, with Confluence, would a read-only mode address many of the use cases? For Jira, how important is real-time sync across geos? Now, the Jira and Confluence teams will be exploring the right way to address geo performance in their respective products. If you have thoughts, please stop by the data center booth and share your ideas with our team. Now, many of our larger customers tell us they have tens or even hundreds of Jira instances in their organization. Now, a common ask for these customers is around data portability. Now, there are three primary use cases that we hear. Number one, moving configurations from one instance to another. For example, going through a process of testing a Jira workflow in your development or staging environment before promoting it to production. Second, moving projects from one instance to another, either one time or on an ongoing basis. And thirdly, consolidating instances from multiple server instances into a single data center instance. Now, consolidating instances isn't easy, as it's often coupled with organizational change management to standardize around your project tracking processes. We know this is a pressing need for you, and we've concluded that the fastest and most effective way to address this challenge is by working with two of our partners who've built a ton of expertise in this space over the past several years. So I'm excited to announce that we're working closely with Botron Software and Avnaba to enhance their solutions around data portability and provide clear guidance on our documentation website to share best practices, guides, and how you can effectively address your data portability needs. In fact, we have just published our first bit of guidance around that configuration portability scenario. You'll find this under the Jira documentation on our website at confluence.atlassian.com. Botron Software is a gold sponsor at Summit, so feel free to stop by at their booth if you want to learn more. They're also right here. You can wave. We also have Jose Maranan from Avnaba in the room, so you can go chat with him as well after this session. And you can expect to hear more and more in the coming months, and we'd love to hear your feedback on this journey. Now, we discussed earlier how we've made available tools that enable you to benchmark your performance for Bitbucket and Confluence. We're going to continue investing here. While we will soon be releasing that testing framework for Confluence, we plan to continue improving it. For example, automating the process of creating that data set of any shape and size, or adding your own database, supporting more macros, modeling multi-user editing, and so on. And of course, we're going to take all of the learnings and apply those to Jira as well. We know that every customer environment is unique, and that it is really important for you to be able to validate the performance of our tools before you deploy. We want to empower you to model our products in your environment. Now, we see a growing set of customers deploying Atlassian products in the cloud. Almost 10% of our server instances are running in AWS already. So we're going to continue improving that experience on AWS. For example, with HipChat Data Center, when it's publicly available, we'll make sure that there's a quick start that goes with it. But we're also looking at other cloud platforms that our customers are looking to leverage. So stay tuned. Now, Crowd is interesting in that it's a standalone product, and it's used by relatively fewer customers than, say, Jira or Confluence, as we saw just now. Yet we see data center customers are reliant on Crowd. Now, releasing Crowd Data Center was a big step to addressing your needs, but we see even more potential for Crowd in the future. What if you could monitor and understand whether your users are having a good experience before they send you email or call you? What if you could tell the status of your licenses so you could plan for the future before you get into firefighting mode? Now, at the last Atlassian Summit, which we run internally every quarter, the crowd team actually decided to build a centralized audit log where you can see changes made across the product suite. That'd be something that would be interesting for you. Now, what if you could integrate with your identity provider in one place and have all the products leverage that? If you have ideas for how crowd can be that mission control tool so that we can make you look good to your users, stop by our product booth and share your feedback. To summarize, we have substantial momentum with our data center products and expect to hear more at the next summit in San Jose this September. Now, you've heard about the exciting product momentum with data center. Now let's take a look at how our customers are responding to our products. The investments in our data center products have led to consistent unit growth quarter over quarter ever since the launch of data center products in 2015. In fact, data center has been one of the fastest growing parts of Atlassian's business. Just over the last 12 months, the number of data center customers grew over 175%. The Atlassian Marketplace has also leaned in to support data center, and we have over 1,000 data center compatible add-ons in the marketplace today. But it's not about business growth. It's about how data center is making you more successful. Our mission is to make many customers like these who've adopted data center more successful. Let me share a couple of my favorite stories of customers who are benefiting from our data center products today. We'll start with Amadeus. Now, Amadeus is the technology provider that sits behind so much of the global travel sector, from airlines to railways to ferry lines. Everything from pricing systems to managing departures. Amadeus has a team of over 14,000 people across 190 markets worldwide, with billions of euros in annual revenue. Now, Amadeus started piloting our server products in 2013, and they moved into production in 2014. They jumped to Bitbucket Data Center to take advantage of high availability and smart mirroring. And last year, they also moved to Confluence Data Center. Over the last 3 years, Amadeus has seen the number of active users grow in each of those products. Bitbucket is a standard for code collaboration, and the number of Confluence and Jira users have roughly doubled since 2015. And as you would expect, they've observed similar growth in user activity as well. The number of new pages in Confluence, the new pull requests in Bitbucket, and new issues in Jira all have roughly doubled as well since 2015. So what has data center enabled for Amadeus? So Amadeus tells us that the Atlassian suite is now at the heart of their company processes and need to show a high availability rate. Data center enables them to do that. With Bitbucket Smart Mirroring, it's critical for their geo-distributed workforce. And for products like Confluence, which will be used by their entire company, not just software and IT, performance at scale will be essential to maintain their users' productivity. Finally, clustering in data center enables Amadeus to take nodes out of the cluster if a maintenance operation is needed. It's worth calling out that a big part of Amadeus' success was working with Valiantis, one of our enterprise solution providers. Amadeus has successfully built their culture of collaboration using Atlassian tools and taken it to the next level with data center. Now let's look at another customer story. National Instruments, or NI, has 7,400 employees spread across 50 countries. NI's customers are engineers and scientists who are working to provide answers to the most challenging questions. If you can turn it on, connect it, drive it, or launch it, chances are NI technology helped make that happen. Now, NI has a diverse customer base. of over 35,000 customers. And a key part of NI's success is their customer operations team, which receives 3,500 emails a day from over 600 channels. And these emails are all important. They have direct impact to their company performance because each email holds a piece of potential revenue. They wanted to shift away from emails and better manage this growing volume of data. So they started with using Jira in 2010 to collect all those incoming emails that contain sales orders. Now, as NI grew over the years, adding more agents across the world, they began to add governance processes to help accommodate for this growth. However, as they got past 2016, their scale was quickly becoming too large. So when Jira Service Desk Data Center was released, they knew that this would be exactly what they needed. They first evaluated Data Center in the summer of 2016, and their experience was very positive. And they're now in production with Jira Service Desk Data Center. So for National Instruments, it really came down to two key benefits. Data Center's high availability. This has allowed NI to ensure their customer operations team can do their job without interruption. For example, a reindex can take 6 hours with their volume of data. When can you perform these operations if the site needs to be up and running 24 hours a day? With Data Center, they can now dedicate a node to perform these operations without impacting their customers. NI is also continuing to grow, and they're preparing for questions like, can we double and grow up to 7,000 emails incoming per day? And how can we do that without doubling our staff? With Data Center, they're in a much better position to answer these questions. Based on their experience, National Instruments believe Data Center is the right architecture for their mission-critical needs. If you want to hear more about these two customer stories, be sure to check out their sessions at Summit by Norbert from National Instruments and Fred and Hugo from Amadeus. Now, of course, it's not just our customers that rely on Data Center. Inside of Atlassian, Data Center is essential to our business. For example, Jira.Atlassian.com, with over 500,000 registered users, where all our feature requests go. Support for all Atlassian products on Jira Service Desk. Our Atlassian intranet on Confluence. Our internal instance for planning and tracking using Jira software. And our Git repos in Bitbucket. All of these run on Data Center. To summarize, Atlassian depends on Data Center, and we're seeing tremendous adoption of Data Center products by our customers. So while it's exciting that we've added so much to Data Center in terms of capability and enterprise needs, we want to make it as straightforward for you to be able to evaluate and adopt Data Center. So you can go to our website and evaluate and purchase Data Center right from there. Or you can now go to AWS QuickStarts for our products and have Data Center up and running on AWS within minutes. We're also continually investing in more knowledge to help you evaluate and adopt Data Center, as well as guidance on how to install Data Center, whether you're installing from scratch or moving to Data Center from an existing server installation. And Data Center is not just for our largest deployments that are mission critical. Did you know that if you're a shop with even just 25 developers for Bitbucket or 500 users for Jira or Confluence, you can take advantage of Data Center with the same or lower upfront cost as a server version in year one. And regardless of size, we give you credit for being a loyal customer. For example, if you have 1,000 users on server version of Jira software today, to upgrade to Data Center is $4,000. It's probably less than what you spend coming here to Summit. And this is not a promotion. This is just the way we make upgrades to Data Center easier for our customers. You've also told us the pains you've experienced with our single product adoption model, and we've listened. As Brian announced at the keynote, we've introduced the Atlassian Stack, so you can get a single license that works across your data center and server products from Atlassian. And it simplifies procurement by giving you one bill for everything Atlassian in your organization. So this allows you to co-term all products for easy renewals and upgrades with one simple price that's less than the list price of each of the individual products. And we can help. We have teams dedicated to helping you adopt data center. We have solution engineers who can help you understand data center and how that might work in your Atlassian environment. We have enterprise advocates who can help you through that process of adopting data center, from creating a business case to purchasing. And of course, our network of Atlassian solution providers who have helped more than half of our data center customers today. If you have questions about data center, please don't leave Summit without asking them. Make sure you stop by our data center product hub if you have any questions or you want a more detailed dive into any of the things that I've talked about today. To summarize, we are making it as easy as possible for you to adopt data center in your organization. Now, to recap, data center is focused on delivering on those 4 pillars of high availability, performance at scale, deployment flexibility, and control. We're making significant investments in data center today and into the future. We're seeing tremendous customer momentum with broader adoption and customer success. And we're working on making it easier for you to adopt data center in your organization. In conclusion, we are well on our way to making that vision of data center into a reality. Over the last several years, many of you here today have shared with us your needs for our applications, how mission critical they are, and how your businesses depend on us. Thanks to all of you for helping us shape everything that you've seen today. Data centers for companies of all sizes. If Atlassian products are mission critical for your company, stop by the data center booth and evaluate data center today. Thank you.